Welcome to everybody. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley. We got a new name, the Jolley Marriage Show, the Jolley Marriage Show. And we want
on
to
all platforms.
On all platforms.
And the topic is, my family is fine. Your family is fake.
And what is it we're talking about?
What to do when your spouse always puts your family down or says condescending things. That's the right word. Says condescending, ugly things about your family. How do you handle it? That was one of the questions that we got.
We get a question. So for those who are joining us on the new Jolley Marriage Show YouTube, we want to let you know that we're talking about letters that people have sent in. You can always send a letter.
Or a question.
A question.
Or long drawn out letter.
Just a question. It was a quick question. info@williejolly.com. info@williejolly.com. If you're just joining us we're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. And I am dressed like this tonight because I just got off of guest hosting, like it or not, on Fox 5 in Washington, D.C. There, I have quick synopsis.
Okay, let's go.
Now let's get back into why.
Your answer to the question, what do you do?
What do you do
My spouse is really hurts my feelings and always says derogatory things
about my family? I'm trying to be nice about his family or her family, but they are nasty about my family. And someone already said, so painful, absolutely painful. And so what we say is you got to use the 4 F's. Be friendly. Be frank about your feelings. That's hurtful. When you say things about my family, I love my family. I love my family. My family has been good to me. So be friendly, be frank about your feelings, be fair. Why do you say those things? Why do you feel that way? Get there, let them talk. And then be focused on a win-win. Focus on a win-win. So we want you to be friendly, be frank, be fair, be focused on a win-win. Now, one of the things we've talked about earlier is that we just got back from funeralizing her oldest cousin. And I said at the beginning of the service when I spoke that I hit the lottery. I hit the jackpot with in-laws because I love my in-laws. They've been kind to me, not just to me personally, not just to me and Dee, and not just to me, Dee, and our son, who we've had together, but also to my daughter, who I brought to the marriage. They embraced her as part of the family from day one and have kept that up. Even now, my grandkids are part of the family. So this is something that we are grateful for. We've loved our in-laws all along the way. We have no drama
on both sides.
So what do you do, though, when that happens, when one person is mean or says derogatory? Then you must, one, address it. You cannot let it slide. I'm gonna make that point. Excuse me. You cannot let it slide and just let it go because my man Andrew Ingraham from Florida, the president of NABHood, is on the line. Hey, Andy, it only takes a minute, 60 seconds in it to use it or lose it. You know that's right, baby. But he is the president of the National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Operators. And I am so grateful for his friendship. Now, what do you do, though, when there's a family issue, there's in-law issues, and your spouse says ugly things about you or demeaning things or negative things about your family? Well, you've got to address it. You got to use the 4 F's that we talk about in the book. Be friendly, be frank about your feelings, be fair, be focused. And then one more thing I was reading some advice on is make a point to go, the two of you, and use the 4 F's, but do it off-site from your home. And maybe at a restaurant, say, let's talk.
A neutral space.
And what culture can we create in a neutral space to say this is something we have to talk through? So I know you got some other.
Okay, I have a slightly different take on that. Okay, in terms of so I agree that when you talk about something which is uncomfortable, that you need to use the 4 F's.
Right.
Friendly.
Frank about your feelings. Frank about your feelings. You almost always have, not just frank, or people then say, you did this, your family. Okay. Frank about your feelings. Point it back at me. All right. Remember what? Then fair. Fair. Be friendly, be frank, be fair. Fair means to listen to their side of the story. And then be focused on a win-win. How do we win together? Because
we still got to live together.
And you said it often, that and we say it in chapter number 5, when you get married, you leave, you cleave, and you weave.
A new
relationship, a new culture. So
let's get back to.
All right,
I don't
go
want
ahead.
to get off topic.
All right, don't get off topic.
What
Okay.
I was trying to say, Willie Jolley,
yes, sweet.
was that while I agree with the 4Fs, there can be a slightly different take on how you might approach it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So the condescending behavior. So you ask yourself, when did it begin?
Did this begin before?
And these are questions that we don't know the answers to because it was one direct question. How do you handle this particular situation? My spouse is saying ugly stuff. You know what? So these are some of the questions that need to be addressed before we can really give a complete answer to the situation. When did this condescending, I need another word because it's hard for me to say. When did the ugly verbal behavior occur?
And when did it start?
When did it start? Is this a part of your spouse's personality? Do they normally say ugly stuff? I mean, you really have to step back and say, this is unusual. When did it start?
Yeah, let's take another take in this. One more take. When my son was living in New York City, he was dating a young lady. And
nice young lady.
Really nice young lady. We've liked everybody he's ever dated. But he said her father and brother, he said they had jokes.
They got jokes.
He said they got jokes. They always got jokes that are hurtful. They got jokes all the time. He said, and they make you they kind of like inside jokes and make you the butt of the joke, or make you you don't know what's going on. So they got their own inside lingo and language. And he said they always had jokes. Which impacted our relationship. He ended up breaking up with the girl. He said because they had jokes. And there was the father and the brother.
She loved her father and her brother.
Well,
but
that's
when
okay.
They were together, and he was around their family, he felt uncomfortable because they said demeaning things. They had jokes.
They always had jokes. He said they always had jokes. So what do you do then? And that is why it's so incredibly important that you make a point to have these conversations and don't let it slide. You cannot, if it's hurtful, if it's painful, do not let it slide.
And I said that you're now married to someone who is expressing these kind of ugly communication. The first thing I thought was, oh, this is really terrible. This is really sad. So when did it begin? And you have to step back and ask, was this behavior always here? There's something, I want to marry somebody who has that kind of demeanor and would say ugly things about my family. How did I not recognize that? Okay, so what do you do about it? Ask the question, then you got to ask yourself, or is it context specific? And what does that mean?
Yeah.
Is it that they're only ugly comments or language when it's directed at a particular family member of yours? Or maybe the spouse says, you really got a deadbeat brother, and every time he's around, he's asking for money, and I'm not feeling it. So I've got nothing positive to say. So is the offensive language or the communication directed at a particular family?
Now what that brings up is it valid?
I hadn't thought about that.
What's validity? Because you might have some family member that you put up with that junk, and your spouse said, I'm not putting up with that stuff.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Now, we've not had that issue now, but when I first went to visit you and date you, you said, my brother, I was there the whole weekend. I never met a brother. I said, where's this brother you tell us? She said, well, he's a little wild. I'll never forget you said it. He's a little wild. Well, but that shows you the power of God. Power of God, the power of God. My brother-in-law went from a little wild, quite a bit wild, to now being a bishop who is a pastor and is a grandfather and father. He's a fantastic husband, fantastic father, fantastic grandfather who has changed his life by the grace of God. He'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, so let's go back. Okay. So you need to ask, was this behavior always there? You have to think back on the beginning of their relationship, right?
Right.
are the negative comments and ugly things, is it context specific related to a particular family member only, or this particular set of circumstances, right?
Right.
And then also, maybe your spouse is not aware that this is what they're saying too.
Well, that's why you have that conversation.
Then your 4F conversation.
That's right. That's right.
But that's a whole, that weighs heavily. That's a whole bunch of stuff going on because you're with somebody, married to somebody who has ugly conversation.
And so look, one of the things we have made it a point, we don't have ugly. Let me say this for the record. We don't make jokes about each other.
Mm-mm.
We don't make jokes about our marriage. We don't make jokes about
We don't say, oh, I was just kidding.
No.
That is a very common, mean-spirited thing that I hear from so many people who talk about. So-and-so said, oh, I was just kidding. No. I don't believe that.
Don't do it.
Instead of being honest and sharing in a pleasant way, this is something that I'm thinking, I'm feeling, or we need to talk about. You make jokes and insult and hurt people.
And then you try and take it back. Oh, I was just joking. No, don't joke about your marriage. Mm-hmm. Don't joke about your relationship. Mm-hmm. Don't joke about your family. It's not joke worthy. And let me tell you, your words have power, folks. Your words have power. What you speak is a powerful tool. You got to speak good into your life. Speak good into your children. Speak good into your marriage. Speak good into your finances. You will never hear me say I am poor. You will never hear that. I might have some temporary cash flow challenge, but I will never speak poor. You won't hear me talk about how sick I am. I am not sick. I'm blessed and highly favored, even when I'm feeling a little under the weather. And so that is why your words have power. Only speak good into your marriage. Only speak good. None of that jokester. Thank you, Ronnie X Black. Emmett, he said, thanks for all you do. We are so grateful for all the people around the world who have made this show a popular show because you have been sharing it with your friends and your family members. Thank you. All right, you got another one. You about how you can handle it.
Mm-hmm. So now you looked at, okay, is this how they were when I married and I didn't realize it, right?
Yeah.
Are they aware of the particular behavior themselves, or is it something, or is it context specific? Now, taking all those things into consideration, then you can go to your 4Fs. Now it's time to have that conversation. And what's the best time to have the 4F conversation? Now you've got to deal with what's the right time. Not when they're spewing out the awful things and you're ready to, rip them from limb to limb. Now you got to take a deep breath, step back, and then that's a juggle too, because you have to have the right time, but then you don't want it to be like 2 or 3 days later and they forgot what? I don't even remember saying that, right?
Right. So that's why so you can't let it slip. You can't let it slide. You can't let it go by and say, oh, I'll talk about it later. That's what we call stamp collecting. I won't say it now. I'll collect it for later. No.
Well, what is later? But if what they've said has made you so angry, maybe you can't say it that moment.
You want to say it that day for midnight. Okay, what we have learned is you've got to deal with your issues before you go to bed. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. If you're upset about something, let's see here.
What? What's wrong?
Facebook, go live on Facebook. I don't know what's happening here.
Disappeared?
It's just been working tonight. I don't know what it is. Facebook, both the Facebooks are not working. All right, I don't know what happened here.
Wow.
All right, well,
but we were getting comments.
Yeah, but on LinkedIn only. Only LinkedIn is working. Isn't that something? All right, so LinkedIn is working. Facebook Live was not working tonight. Maybe Cheryl can repost it on Facebook and on.
Why so much disrespect? I don't know. My question would be, why so much? Oh, that's a valid question to ask.
Why so much disrespect? But for my family, well, then again, go back to why the fair part. Why do you say these things? Did they do something to you? Were they rude to you? Did you feel disrespected somewhere along the line? Or is this just how you talk to folks?
And then if so, that's very sad. which meant you married somebody who was like that. That's terrible.
That's terrible. That's bad.
And you didn't recognize it.
You
That's
did not
terrible.
recognize it.
Oh my.
So we
I'm
are
sorry
saying,
for them.
I'm saying to everybody, there's so many points
She
in it.
couldn't get, Terrence, he couldn't get to Facebook.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
saying,
know.
Terrence, something's wrong with Facebook tonight. That's all right. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in the mix, as I used to say in the music business. We'll fix it in the mix. So family situations, drama. Okay, speak well of your spouse and their family in public and private.
Find something positive or good to say.
Yes. Let me read a
It might
piece.
be short.
Let me read a piece.
Find something good to say, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to say something kind and thoughtful.
All right, that said, for those who know the book, we had 10 points, and each one of us gave our perspective on the 10 points we agreed on. Here's something Dee wrote in her Leave the Drama with Your Mama, chapter 5. Drama is a choice. Once you understand that, you realize drama is never necessary. An example of that was the time I had dinner with her first husband and my last husband, Willie. That night, both husbands at the same time, both were sitting right across from me in a booth we shared at a busy restaurant. Howard University's annual homecoming weekend, which attracts thousands of alums, Willie, me, and her former husband were engrossed in pleasant conversation. You have thought they were old college friends. No drama. How did this come to be? Well, 7 years earlier, when the phone rang, Willie answered, and the voice on the other said it was her former husband. He was in town on his way to visit his sister-in-law. He thought he was near our home and asked if he could come out. Willie said, "Of course you could. Come on." When he got there, Willie said I was running errands. Dee was out running errands. And I offered him a soft drink while we waited. He had never met my son, William, who was at Howard Law School at the time. Called William, and asked him to come to meet Mom's first husband. William came in, and being as gregarious as he always is, gave him a big hug. "Hey, nice to meet you." It blew his mind because we said, we don't do drama. We don't talk bad about people.
There's no need.
There's no need. Okay? So we are encouraging you, wherever you are in your relationship, do not take the negative and make it acceptable. Okay, it's okay. No, it's not. Talking about somebody's family, if they say it's hurtful, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, let's go back to the question. She said he does it all the time. Now, my question is, do you want to be married? Do you want to be happily married? Or do you want drama? You decide. Excuse me. But this is a decision.
You know what I said?
Excuse me.
Sometimes people want to say hurtful things because you want to hurt you want to hurt your spouse.
You want to get back at him. You want to dig at him.
Yeah. So in some of those instances, you know what? You need counseling.
Boom.
Because why would you want to hurt your spouse, the person you're supposed to love?
Boom.
There's a problem. You need counseling.
Need counseling.
You need professional help.
And we say this to all the people who we know are struggling. Get some counseling. Marriage counseling. Get some marriage counseling. And if you just won't go, you go by yourself. You go by yourself. Harry Webster says, no need to bash anyone, especially family members. Absolutely. Exactly. But people do it all the time. And now then you got to figure out how to handle it. And you sometimes just sit on it or accept it. No, that's hurtful. Please don't do that. Let's talk about it. Maybe there's some issues there I don't know about. One of the research points I found out was that sometimes offhand family members can be ugly, like with William. And so
with William's girlfriend's
William's girlfriend's father and brother who had jokes, as William said. They always got jokes, and I'm the butt of the joke, so I don't like it. So having a conversation, say, that's why I feel this way, and I retaliate or I get back at him by saying things about him. But It's not helpful. And 2 wrongs don't make a right.
It doesn't build a nurturing relationship.
Correct.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. I want to mention the new number, the 988, that you can call for
mental health.
Mental health. And that falls into the category of a mental health issue.
Yep.
It is nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
Nothing. And it's becoming popular. It's been out for less than a week.
Right.
988.
988. If you got a mental health issue, a crisis, or you got a family member.
You need to talk to somebody. Sometimes you can't talk to your family member because whatever.
Right.
988.
Okay. And look, folks, we want to encourage you to remember that we now have the Relationship Repair Series is available for you to get full access to it. Many people have now taken advantage of that. Go to jolleymarriage.com/events. There are 5 sessions plus a bonus session. 5 points, which are communication, finances, sex, family, and blended family. 5 sessions plus a bonus session. All of them are 90 minutes. And the bonus session is about the 11 biggest mistakes people make in their relationship and marriages that mess them up and how to fix them.
Communication.
So go right now and get the Relationship Repair Series. Go right now if you want to.
Where do they go?
Invest. jolleymarriage.com/events. jolleymarriage.com/events. And I want to thank everybody again who watched me tonight on Fox 5 in DC, the show Like It or Not. I was a special guest host, and we had a great time and a great response. You might be able to see excerpts from it on their Fox 5 DC website. Hopefully, we'll have some excerpts to play on my website. And so we hope you'll enjoy that.
Be good.
Last but not least, we're telling everybody now, if you want to have me speak, I'm back to speaking. I'm back to traveling. So you'd like me to have me speak for your organization, for your team, give our office a call or email. Go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, and you can get our email. It's info@williejolly.com. You can get our telephone number, 202-723-8863, 202-723-8863, and say, hey, we need your folks. Hey, thank you, Andy Ingram. I hope your NABHOOD conference went great. I know it was fantastic. And all of our great hotel owners, we just want to applaud them. We need more and more. I hope to be joining that rank soon. I've been talking to Norm Jenkins about that. And so I hope to become part of that hotel owners and operators contingent and fraternity and sorority and group. All right. We got Sheila Johnson's part of that. Bob Johnson's part of it. Michael V. Roberts part of that. We got some great hotel owners who are part of NABHOOD. Bravo, bravo, bravo. We are out. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Go get the book, jolleymarriage.com, jolleymarriage.com, jolleymarriage.com. You're looking at the Jolley Marriage Show, the new name for our marriage show. See y'all next week with my beautiful bride.
Jolley out.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.